and welcome back to another episode of Crypto News with Julie Kennis. I'm your host, Julie Kennis. Thank you all for tuning in. Am I not orange or yellow today? Is the jaundice gone? Inquiring minds want to know. Thank you all for being back here. And I am sorry. Oh, no hulkiness today. No. There's greed in the charts, just not on me. Just not on my face. I don't know why it does that. Whenever we have like a cloud cover, for some reason, the the flash on my face makes it a little yellow. I can't change it. But today we have clear skies. I opened the window to let some fresh air and light in. So kind of quiet here in the chat this morning. What's going on? Well, hello, John Legend and Po-Man Black Hat team. I hope you all are doing well. I don't know where the heck Peace of My Mind is and Blocky and Chipper, but that's okay. I'm sure they're going to make their way on in here. Hello, Mr. International. Thanks for tuning in over on the vertical. It's good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Today is a good day. Bitcoin has touched 79,000. That's right. Not 69, 79. We're going the other way. Are you feeling bullish yet, or are you still calling for 43K Bitcoin? I'm seeing all kinds of crazy numbers on the timeline. I'm like, you're dreaming if you think we're going to hit 43K. Lone mod here. Everything goes. Yeah, shout out to you, Po-Man. You're the lone mod in the chat. So, you want to cue the romper room? We can cue some romper room. We haven't done some romper room, and I believe it is a way back Wednesday for us. So let's play the romper room.
Time for me to see the friends at home in the magic mirror. Romper bumper, stomper boo, tell me, do. Magic mirror, tell me today, did all my friends have fun at play? All my friends had fun today. I see David's having a special day today, and Olivia Joy had a special day on Sunday, and I see Robin had a special day yesterday, and Dana's having a special day today, and so is Reginald and Edward John and Margaret, and I see Justin and Megan and Courtney and Brick and Mark and
I was muted. I'm back. She keeps going forever. So we're gonna. So yes. Hello, Jesse. Welcome into the chat. Good to see you. We just did a little romper room for the way back Wednesday. So I actually never saw that show. My mom had to tell me that when I say hello to everyone in the chat, that it reminded her of Romper Room. I had to go look it up, and I thought it was cute. I'm like, you know what? Let's go ahead and add this into the mix because that's kind of fun. So we got a little Romper Room action. But speaking of Romper Room, she looks into the mirror, and it reminded me of Project Looking Glass. Did you guys see? We had another scientist end up dead. And if you are looking into any of the connections, kind of what they were all working on, the background of these different scientists, they all kind of come from a similar area of study. It's some interesting stuff. So if you guys want to know more about it, look into the Project Looking Glass. It was called Project Looking Glass. So there's some really interesting stuff on there that we'll talk about, kind of like bending space and time. And so, of course, when you're bending space and time for space travel, it also allows you to bend time and to manipulate, past and present, future events, things like that. So it's interesting. If you guys like digging into some conspiracy theories, it's thick right now on those scientists who all keep ending up deceased. So, but yeah, the Wilcox gentleman, I hadn't really looked into any of his stuff. He had 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. Very interesting background about him as well. But it just, are all of these people crazy, or are they all telling you truths that happen to match? So it sounds, out of a science fiction film, but, maybe that's the whole point, is like, they don't want the general people to know. Oh yeah, Y-Files. I used to watch some of the Y-Files. The Y-Files has a really good one on Project Looking Glass. But then I dug into some just like older recordings and things like that. But yeah, it's just interesting. And then I guess I never really thought about if you're able to bend space and time to do this, many, many light years of travel, then if you can do that and bend space and time, then why couldn't you travel forward or backward in time? Because if you're bending space and time to be able to go to a particular point. And so anyway, part of what some of these different scientists were saying were that when they had first, recreated the technology, they were limited within the scope of what they could do and what they could see. But as they've been refining it, they've now been able to see further into the past and present and things like that. So time travel's dangerous. Where will you land? I think about that too. Well, I mean, come on. Like, I used to love the Back to the Future movies. I'll still watch them when they come on. But, I feel like, there's got to be a little bit of truth to some of this, right? There's got to be a little bit of truth to some of this. So anyway, enough conspiracy theories for today, you guys, because we're having a bullish day here on the market. And Dogebull entered the chat and he said he's been bullish since 2013. Congratulations. And hello, Derp. Welcome in. Good to see you, friend. Good to see you. So let's go ahead and without further ado, we'll go ahead and dive right into the crypto charts. If I can find it, the crypto charts. Jesse types in the chat, ETH to zero. I feel like you come in and say that every day. Either that or it's turning into Groundhog Day. Jesse, love to see it. ETH to zero. At least you're consistent. I love consistency. And you bring the consistency with the ETH to zero. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin because Bitcoin's having a heck of a day. We ran all the way up to 79 and we're reaching a little bit of a challenge here at 79K. And that is as to be expected. Now, as we can see here from the market Cipher B line, money flow has been in the green for the most of the day. So things are looking good. Let's see, we've just printed a red dot here. Are we going to continue to have a little bit more of a sell-off? Looks like we will here on the RSI line until we print that green dot. Once we print that green dot, we're going to see a little bit of a bounce back and see what type of a green candle we can stack in here, potentially getting us back to 79,000. So all the way up, a high 79.4. Good to see. But then we had a little bit of a retracement, currently trading at 78,700. So up about 3% on the day. Love to see it. Love to see it. ETH to zero, as Jesse would say, it's about the same as yesterday. It's about the same as yesterday. It says 3%, but I'm telling you, because we were just at 2,400. So I feel like, relatively speaking, can we call it 3%? Yeah, it's 3% technically on the day. But Bitcoin touching 79 feels good. John Meyer says back to 69 soon. Back to 69 soon. I'm sure we won't. I'm sure we're going to see it again. I'm sure we're going to see it again. But I'll take a little bit of positive sentiment in the market. We are headed into the Bitcoin conference. Historically, the Bitcoin price is down during the Bitcoin conference. So we will see if that holds true. I'm currently moving some funds around, making sure I've got enough to pay for the $20 water in Vegas. I am actually being smart. I'm taking a whole case of water with me in Joxie this time. I have a feeling we'll need more than one case after 5 days in Vegas, but I'm just going to take one. So we'll call it good. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at Solana. It has had a little bit more of a sell-off here, but it's trading at $87.20. I feel like that was around where we were yesterday, but it went all the way up to $89. Stuff's moving a little bit. Oh yeah, World Liberty Finance. It's a shit show over there. I don't know. Justin's son has, out of the state of California, filed a lawsuit. I'm not going to pull it up because I'm sure everybody is talking about it today. But with Justin's son filing that lawsuit, it's going to open up the door for all these other lawsuits. And not only that, but it's going to open the door for the criticism of the Democratic Party, who does not like what Trump has been doing. So this is just horrible, horrible timing. And we have midterms coming up. So it's just horrible timing, in my opinion. With the war, his approval ratings are not good. It's not good. So I don't know. I don't want to get too much into the geopolitical stuff today because I get frustrated. I get frustrated because I know we're playing a game right now. And people are talking about how much money Barron Trump has made off of his father being in office and just him being in close proximity. And this kid has been degening on crypto for quite a while. Helped facilitating the launch in some of his father's coins. And so when I look at World Liberty Finance and the fact that they're starting to come under some scrutiny, and that Trump's son is probably degening on these geopolitical plays. So it scares me for what it could mean for crypto down the line. What does that look like in 2 years when Trump isn't in office anymore and we have somebody else? There is going to be a lot of heat on this crypto stuff in another year or two, whenever the election starts to kick up some more. Right now we're just at midterm, so it's kind of mild. They're going easy right now. But as soon as the main election comes, it's going to be hot. They're going to put the pressure on it, and crypto industry is going to feel it. We're going to feel it, you guys. I already can tell. I can already tell. So Solana, let's see. It's just putting in this red candle right here. 87.10 now. All right, let's move over to Chainlink. Chainlink has moved into the red, putting in quite a sizable little red candles for the day. Look at that. So trading at $9.38. It is the only one currently sitting in the red, but it looks like the market's starting to turn here. Because look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's continuing to put in this. We still haven't put in our green dot yet. So we will continue on downwards during this live stream. Let's go ahead and take a look at Dogecoin. Forever at 9.5 cents. Sui is trading at 95 and ADA 25 cents. So that's where we're at, you guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at the crypto bubbles. Did you guys see Zach XBT starting to call out some of these coins? Pippin, Siren, some other coins that have had just really unusual movement on it. The meme core, the one that we looked at yesterday, and Blocky was like, what the hell is that one? He listed that one in the list of ones that had questionable activity on it, which how could you not? I mean, look at how hard some of these teams work to launch a product for it to hit a top 100, and some of these are coming out of nowhere. Like Siren came out of nowhere, and I mean, look at on the month, down 72%. It was traded $2. Yeah, so look at 13 cents. All the way down to 13 cents. What are we trading at now on it? 66. 666. There you go. There you have it, you guys. So top 100 is still green, at least until Bitcoin has whatever little sell-off downward trend we're looking at here. Let's see. Still have not put in the green dot. Still have not put in the green dot. You guys, I went yesterday. I ran. I did not walk. I ran and I registered for my Blowfin account so I could get in on the market Cipher bot. I'm like, I know how big that is and how important it is and the opportunity that we have to be able to get in on a bot that early. I'm all over it. I'm all over it like white on rice. Hello, Blocky. Welcome into the chat. So, all right, there you have it, you guys. So we're watching Bitcoin right now as it trends on down. Let's see. I'm drilling a little more. Yeah, we still have not. We're not putting in any green dots yet. Nothing. No. Let's see. Nope. It's still doing its thing, guys. All right, let's go ahead and dive into some breaking news. My gosh, you guys, my eye went all blurry there for a second. That was crazy. Okay. Aave deposits fall by 15B as kelp exploit sparks flight from DeFi lender. So Aave's supplied balance has taken a hit, has tanked since the kelp DAO bridge exploit as users pull funds amid uncertainty over how much RS-ETH linked shortfall with the protocol will ultimately absorb. So let's dive right into it. Aave, the largest decentralized lending protocol, has seen around 15 billion in deposits withdrawn since the kelp DAO exploit on Saturday. Total value supplied to Aave fell from 45.8 billion on Saturday to 30.8 billion on Wednesday, according to Aave scan data. The decline followed an attack that drained about 116 restaked Ether worth roughly 293 million from Kelp DAO's layer 0 powered RS-ETH bridge. The exploiter then used part of the stolen funds to borrow on Aave. Isn't that nice? You just nice little closed loop there. We're going to take it and then we're going to use it to borrow more. Aave's incident report said 89,000 of the RS-ETH was deposited on the protocol. That resulting shortfall could range at about 123 million to 230 million, depending on how losses are ultimately allocated. So the outflows reflect fears of contagion from Aave's bad debt and broader capital flight from decentralized finance, according to institutional digital asset platform Talos. The bad debt created the kelp exploiter resulted in Aave's V3 wrapped Ether marked temporarily reaching 100% utilization and leaving no liquidity for immediate withdrawals. So since then, it has sent some ripples around DeFi lending. So the exploit highlights how DeFi's interconnectedness is a double-edged sword as the Kelp DAO exploit spread across lending markets and escalated into broader liquidity crunch. So she said that the asset bundled risk restaking, bridging, and lending layers. So it allowed the impact to spread far beyond the initial exploit. So that whole closed loop system makes it a little more complex. Now, I don't see why you can't have some sort of like, why they need to make it to where you could take that much out in borrowing without there being like some sort of like secondary cross-check measure at a certain point. Like if somebody's trying to take more than $1 million, why wouldn't there be like a flag internally on the system to say like a person needs to authorize this or we're going to shut it down? Because you could have up to like 999,000, but if you want more than $1 million, then it's going to require somebody to say, okay, on our end that we're going to open up more than $1 million. That's just what I would do, but you know, who am I? I'm just a random person here that's reading this article. So, but when I was in Solar, you guys, I loved creating custom alerts. And that was the whole thing is like, when I look at these issues, is like, how can you create a way that this doesn't become an issue in the future? Now, if the issue is that like they want it to be to where people can borrow money at any time 24/7 because that's how crypto is, you know, I understand that, but maybe there needs to be like a threshold at which that is limited. So yes, I mentioned Solar. I got all excited when the guy on Crypto Princess's live stream talked about Solar. I was like, ooh, did he mention Solar? Because it's just a great use case, especially here in parts of the United States. I don't want to say all of the United States. So anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next article. So Kraken calls for de minimis exemption on crypto taxes after the 2025 reports. So crypto exchange advocate and for two key changes to the U.S. tax law affecting crypto users to eliminate millions of unnecessary forms. So let's dive into it because I completely support this. I don't think it's necessary for them to be if I buy coffee with crypto, why are they adding another tax on top of that? It should just be viewed as another type of currency, and the existing tax structure should already be built into it if I'm using it like at a merchant to purchase something. There shouldn't be an extra fee on top of it. So cryptocurrency exchange Kraken has called for a change in the U.S. tax policy after reporting millions of cases of transactions worth less than $1 as part of a reporting requirement for 2025. In a Wednesday blog post, Kraken said that it issued more than 56 million tax forms or 1099 DAs to the U.S. IRS in 2025 and is now required by law. However, the exchange said that 18.5 million of those forms were transactions for under $1, with about 28 million of $10 or less, and 75% of those were under $50. I just can't even believe that the U.S. government wants to go through all of those forms. But at the same time, if their auditing system is built on AI and it's just like pulling it all together, then do they really care? No, they want to see all of it. They want to see every penny, every dollar that touched your account. Where was it coming from? We used to talk about Big Brother, and like nobody talks about Big Brother anymore. We're like literally just living in this society where like everything is being tracked all the time. This morning on the way to school, I was telling my kids about how some of the newer cars kind of scare me because the camera is actually looking at you and they can see everything you're doing while you're driving. And it makes me not want one of the newer vehicles that's out because I feel like there's just this intrusion of privacy on so many levels. Like, okay, it was on our phone and we've all just accepted it now. The phone is tracking us, it's listening to us, it's doing all of these things. But now it's like, now your car is actually recording you. And it's to make sure you're not falling asleep while you're driving, or it's to be, all of these safety measures. No, it's not. No, it's not. At the end of the day, it's literally to strip you of your freedom. And everything I don't know. I don't know, you guys. Maybe I'm just like going down my tinfoil rabbit holes too much now and having like cameras in the car and on everything like pointed at me. I don't know. I don't know. As I sit here and talk to the camera. I don't know. Am I doing it to myself? I'm doing it to myself right now. You guys, I can't. Okay. Anyway, it's going to be amazing to see what comes of this. How many people end up getting audited because they didn't file something correctly? I had opened a Kraken account a long time ago. I don't think I ever put anything on it. But I'm using it now. But so it just makes me wonder, like, what other exchanges that I've used that are submitting, like, that I had $20 on there that I forgot about from 2021, and I forgot about it. So I didn't submit it because, I was like opening accounts and just trying stuff. It was, F around and find out back in 2021. Like, I was like trying all chains to try and see what they do, how fast they move, what different things they need to interact with to work. And so I was just trying stuff. So should I have to go pay tax on that money that's sitting there that I forgot about? It's only $20 because I had to put it in there to try and, move an NFT around or something, which all of the NFTs went to zero. So it's just, I'm going to find it really funny if the IRS starts digging down this like rabbit hole of like auditing people. And then they start to realize how much money people have really lost in crypto. They think, oh, we're going to get this big, gotcha, and we're going to get money out of these people. And then it's like, well, actually, no, I've been losing. So now what? Now you owe me money. Anyway, you guys, so Kraken is calling for the minimum exemptions. I hope so. Like, look, I have heard Senator Cynthia Lummis say something about $600, $300. Like, I think there needs to be a said minimum. We need to come up with that. And if they're sitting there talking about the Clarity Act, like, get that answered. Get that answered, because that's an important one. Okay, moving on to the next article. Okay. Just a second. Oh, okay. My old accounts aren't applicable unless I create a taxable event. That's good to know. Yeah, because there's some accounts that I just completely forgotten about. So, okay. Thailand regulators are mulling crypto futures expansion and licensing overhaul. You guys, I'm going to be interested to see what happens with Thailand. I know that they've made some changes with like their visas, and like you used to be able to stay there for 6 months. I don't think you can stay there for 6 months on a visitor visa anymore. I think they're really cracking down on the digital nomad thing there. But at the same time, is it because they're getting ready to make it easier to do crypto, have crypto, things like that? I don't know. Interesting stuff here. So Thailand's SEC is seeking feedback on rule changes that would let digital asset firms offer derivatives with existing entities, lowering the barrier to market entry. So Thailand's Securities Exchange Commission is seeking a public comment on proposed rule changes that would allow licensed digital asset businesses to apply directly for derivatives licenses, removing the requirements to establish separate entities. The proposed revision would build on earlier changes, recognizing digital assets as eligible underlying assets for future contracts, expanding the scope of Thailand's derivative markets. I think it's interesting that every country is adopting this on some sort of like mass level at this point. So anyway, they have opened this up for comment, and that is currently open. So crypto derivatives expand as the U.S. moves towards approval. So as I said here, we're starting to move towards the Clarity Act and having that approved here in the United States. I still think that there's things that we need to do to clarify in the Clarity Act before we get that signed. As a crypto industry, I think we need to have the minimums. We need to make sure that we're creating a good environment for people to participate in crypto and not making it just another area where people are overly taxed, because, it can get very convoluted. So since we're talking about taxes, since we're talking about getting audited, you guys just remember, if you do find yourself in an instance where you are being audited, you can hire an attorney. You do not have to submit anything right away. You need to actually probably contact an attorney and make sure that you're taking the appropriate approach so that you are not being held to the highest extent of the taxable event that they're trying to incur on you. So Andrew Gordon, I've had several conversations with him here on the channel. I do plan to have him back on the show again soon. Hopefully I'll see him next week at the Bitcoin conference. So, and if you guys are new here, I will be at the Bitcoin conference next week. I am headed out on Sunday morning with Joxie. So it's going to be a great time. We are extending the trip to have one last hoorah. We are going to blow it out. So I hope you guys all smash subscribe and join us on our excursion to Vegas this coming weekend, Sunday through Thursday, you guys. We're going to be there. It's going to be fun. So thank you all for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock Pacific time, and the Julie and Joxie show again on Friday at 10 a.m. Don't forget to smash the subscribe. See y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.